Anything else you want to say to your fans, man?
Man, shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, Errol Spence Jr., my whole name, and just look out for me.
Yes, sir.
The fact that he's afraid. He's afraid, yet he has all the belts. He's afraid of Terrence Crawford. He's afraid of Terrence Crawford. What was making that fight so long? He waited so long that he became devastated. If you don't do what's right, you will be cursed. And guess what happens? We don't see him fight for anything for a long time. One injury after the next. Car injury, this injury, eye injury. He missed the fucking opportunity to beat fucking Manny Pacquiao. What now? He's a coward. And I don't respect cowards. I know he's a good fighter, but he's a coward. And he ruined boxing. He held on to those belts for far too long. He kept fucking pushing back and pushing back and pushing back the idea of fighting Terrence Crawford until he gets cursed. I mean, hell, things like that happens inside and outside the ring. You have to be willing to prove that you're great.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So that was the undefeated rising prospect Blair the Flair Cobbs talking, who has a really big fight, a big test. He's stepping up in competition against Alexis Rocha on Virgil Ortiz's undercard. And you can pretty much see how much of a test it is just the way DAZN has the billboard posted. As you guys can see right here, they have Rocha's name on top of Blair's name. So this is a huge fight. This is a big step up in competition for Blair Cobbs. And everything that he said about Errol Spence and Jaron Ennis, this puts even more pressure on him to perform and win this fight. Cobbs might not be the most talented when it comes to all the welterweights, but he is starting to come off like a throwback type of fighter. You heard everything he said about being great. He said that Errol Spence was actually cursed because he's been avoiding the Terrence Crawford fight. He's saying that all of these things happened to him because he didn't do the right thing. Well, Errol Spence has already agreed that after the Ugas fight, assuming he gets past the Ugas fight, which Blair doesn't even believe he's going to get past Ugas, but assuming Errol does get past Ugas, Errol Spence has already made it clear there's no more talks about splits. We're going to negotiate behind closed doors, and Errol Spence has already made it clear that this fight needs to happen. I believe Errol Spence, he's taking this fight assuming he gets past Ugas because he does want to be considered great or the greatest, just like Terrence Crawford does. Not only that, but the winner of that fight becomes the undisputed pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Because it's one thing to become undisputed in the super middleweight division where Canelo Alvarez was, where you were fighting against nothing but C-level European/white fighters. But to become undisputed in the glamour division, the deepest division in boxing historically, there's nothing bigger than that. So everything is on the line for this fight, and this is the reason why that's the only fight that makes sense for both Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. It needs to happen, and it needs to happen this year. It's the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. Now, once again, man, Blair Cobbs is definitely a throwback fighter. We don't know how far he's going to go in the sport, but he's a throwback fighter. He's the only fighter to come out, pull up on Jaron Ennis, and call him out to his face, and then turn around and call Errol Spence a coward. I mean, now, sure, we've heard other boxers like Roy Jones Jr., Andre Ward allude to the fact that Errol Spence needed to fight Terrence Crawford. But this man, Blair Cobbs, he just came straight out. And he just called this man, Errol Spence, a coward, said he is afraid of Terrence Crawford. And his career has pretty much been cursed because he never did the right thing by fighting Terrence Crawford when he was supposed to. This is what Blair Cobbs said. Well, all of that is going to be proven once again this year. if he's right or wrong when it comes to that situation, starting with the Errol Spence versus Ugas fight. So while Errol Spence, he already has his path, the question is, where does Blair Cobbs go if he can even get past Rocha, which is no guarantee. But if he does get past Rocha, I assume, since he's fighting under the Golden Boy banner, there's a very good chance that he may end up getting to fight Virgil Ortiz. Because Virgil Ortiz is not going to be fighting Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence anytime soon, especially assuming the fact that Spence and Crawford will fight against each other. And the winner of that fight will most likely move up to 154. So that leaves Blair Cobbs against Virgil Ortiz, which would be a huge fight. They both have great power, they're both undefeated, and the winner of that fight is going to really be catapulted to the next level in the welterweight division, and it presents a great challenge for Jaron Ennis. If once again, Jaron is not getting the Crawford or Spence fight anytime soon. I'll close out with this last clip of what Blair Cobbs said about Jaron Ennis. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
Years. But people like Ennis people like Ennis prayed for me to die. They prayed for me in my downfall. Why? Because then they can be great. I'm sorry. It's not over yet. It's not over. Blair the Flair is still here, still young, still ready. And even though I go through my trials and tribulations in the ring, I ain't got a million fucking easy fights. I ain't built up with 20 easy fights and just easy quick knockouts to get me cool and collected inside the ring. No, I'm learning right when to struggle. I'm learning against the wall, fighting other undefeated fighters. We can't say that about Ennis yet. And when we make it real uncomfortable, guess what? We not in Philly no more. We in Vegas. Let's get it. MGM Grand. Right here. Let's get it. Let's see if he's real. Let's see if he can take the great one. Because there's a difference between being good and being great. People get this shit misunderstood. You ain't great until you face opposition. You ain't great until you face opposition. You ain't shit until you face opposition. I've been knocked down. I got back up to win. Not only win, but knock this motherfucker out. Can we say that about Ennis? Can we say that about Ortiz? Can we say that about any of these young fighters that's just taking easy fights? I want to protect my fuck your
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram.